Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Not available. Okay. Share on the Twitters. What notifications do I have? Nothing. Okay. Close that. Close that. Hello out there, Cubos. Yes. Oh, what? I only shared on Twitter. I don't really feel like posting everywhere else, so that's time for more readings from the book. The book, of course, being How to Be a Good Boyfriend. I hope you're all ready to take notes again, because, oh, hell, I can really quiz you if I wanted to. Anyway, uh, yeah. Do I have sound? Okay, I can hear myself pretty well. That's good to know. Okay, Stream Elements has decided to actually broadcast about 2 minutes into my stream. So, yeah. Anyway, we just finished chapter 10, so let's go ahead and get into chapter 11. Uh, and I apologize ahead of time, I have been drinking. Anyway, chapter 11 Reading the Signs. And I do have to remind you this book was written by a woman, so any phrasing I may do, I'm trying to read verbatim. So, it's just saying that I'm really quiet or what? Um, let's increase the gain a little. Okay. I guess that's a little bit better. I bumped it up 2.5, so I'm going to bump it up a little bit more. Not what I want to quiz on. Density properties. Okay, 5 decibels. Yeah, I can hear myself a little bit better, so I guess that's a good sign. Anyway, chapter 11 Reading the Signs. Some women like to always be in relationships because they don't like being alone. Honestly, some guys do. So, how can you tell if she's truly interested in you? If her behavior is a little questionable, she's either not that interested in you or just too self involved to really care about you. Examples: she only calls or texts when she wants something, not to say hi or to see how your day is going. She won't commit to plans with you until the last minute after she sees what her friends are up to, unless you're taking her to an expensive restaurant to see a show or on vacation. When she talks about the future, rather than ask you what you want, she'll assume you'll want everything she wants. She somehow gets to buy her fancy clothes and material things that really she should buy for herself. Okay, she somehow gets you to buy her fancy clothes. Hmm. Then they have a nice little quote in here. Oh, I'd love to go to that fancy party with you, but I don't have anything I could wear. If she's not that interested in you, but wants your attention, she may get annoying. But be sure you understand the reason and let her go. This is not your fault, and you can't fix it. You can't make a woman want you any more than you can make us want you. Make you want us. Yeah. A note to the ladies: if you're truly not that interested in him, don't lead him on. Respect his feelings and offer him the same courtesy you'd expect from him. When she is genuinely interested, you won't have to question it. You'll know. Even though she may not chase you or initiate contact, she's always happy to hear from you. She wants to spend time with you, not so you can spend money on her, just because she likes being with you. It makes her feel good to be around you. She's comfortable with you. She respects you and the choices you make. She'll never seek to understand your choices rather than ever judge you or put you down for them. Okay, I'm getting a lot of reverb on this. Let me see if I can fix that. Better? Okay. Sorry. She accepts you for exactly who you are. She'll never make you feel like you're not attractive enough, that you don't make enough money, that you aren't smart enough, or that you don't come from a good enough family. A note to the ladies: these are the same signs you should look out for with guys, with one exception. If he's not doing the chasing, he's not that interested. All right, then. Chapter 12: Texting. Aren't we modern? We love technology as much as you do, really, but we see texting as a supplemental form of communication. You need to call us. Call when you want to make plans, call if you are running late, call to see how our day was. Text on your way home from our date to say, I had a great time. Text if you know we're busy at work. Text if you know we're sleeping. Maybe not text when you know we're sleeping, because quite frankly, that would wake us up. Okay. Because texting is an easy way to pay attention to someone, it doesn't make us feel special at all. A lot of people would just like any communication at all, really. But, you know. Day 3, Dylan. Joy had a great first date with Dylan. He texted her on his way home to say he had a great time. She wrote back saying she did as well. She was happy to have had a good time on the first date. The next day, she didn't hear from him. Another day passed, still nothing. On the third day, she got a text saying, "So, how do you feel about getting together again?" A text? 3 days later? Gee, Dylan, way to make a girl feel special. If Dylan had called, even on the third day, Joy would have been happy to go out with him again. But in this case, she lost interest and passed on the second date. Strange thing was, Dylan tried repeatedly over the course of the next 6 weeks to get her to go out with him again. So it seems he was actually interested, but it's all by text, and Joey's interest never returned. Um, the guy was putting in an effort to get some kind of communication. Not all of us like talking on the damn phone. Texting is a little bit more direct and to the point, and like frankly, I ramble when I'm on the phone, just like I ramble when I'm doing streams. Anyway, also worth mentioning here, a little text etiquette. If you need to end one of our text chats, don't just stop texting. You wouldn't just get up and walk away without saying goodbye, would you? If our last text warrants a comment or asks a question, and you stop texting, we take that as a dismissal. We understand you're busy, no problem. Just gotta type, gotta go, TTL, TTYL. Otherwise, we're going to keep checking the phone, feel completely dismissed, and think you're a jerk. Clearly, this book was written before the term ghosting. A note to the ladies: if you're in the habit of texting often with your friends, you might think nothing of texting a new guy at random times just to say hello or just to see what he's doing. Resist the urge. Do not chase him by text. Unless he is needy for your attention, it will seem to him that you are, and he'll begin to lose interest. Oh, yeah. Admittedly, most guys would rather have conversations via text, but most guys also aren't very talkative. And if we're not talkative, we're not textative, I guess. I mean, admittedly, I personally try to reply, but any of my friends that know me well enough know that I'm really bad about responding. And I apologize for it ahead of time a lot of times. Of course, now at my current station of not being employed, I respond fairly quickly unless it's something done overnight. Or I'm with family because I don't want to text back because then it would just be rude. But I'd also say that in the text message saying, hey, I was busy, sorry it took me so long to text back. But what's up? Chapter 13: Online Dating. Oh, the joys of online dating. What could theoretically be the most efficient way of meeting like minded people is definitely the most impersonal. And because of that, it's very important to get things right in the online dating world. The single biggest turnoff we find online is when a guy writes in his profile that he's looking to meet girls or women. Or I guess in some case, guys. I don't know. Sure, you'll probably have to meet more than one of us to find one you like, but remember that we want to feel special. Writing that you're looking for women, plural, makes us think that you are looking for a harem. We're probably not into that. So if you are in fact ultimately looking for one woman with whom to share your time, don't make us think otherwise. The second biggest turnoff we find is the poor choice of pictures. The first ones you can get rid of are the ones of you in front of a sunset or at a fancy party with your ex girlfriend cut out. We don't want to see her long flowing blonde hair on your shoulder. We don't want to see the super romantic candlelit sunrise dinner you shared in Greece. These things will just make us feel insecure later on. If those are truly the only good pictures you have, then before you sign up for online dating, you need to do what women do: make a night out with your friends specifically to take pictures. Yes, we do this. When we get tired of the pictures we have online, we say to another one, I need some new pictures to post. Let's go out tonight. We go out, we have a great time, and we take lots of pictures. So if you need some good pictures, make a guys' night out. Look your best and take lots of pictures. Get women at the bar to take your picture. Two birds with one stone. Thank you. Some of the pictures will be good, some of them will be funny. Perfect. Although no, she doesn't say in here to have pictures of your pets or taking care of or playing with kids or anything like that. And honestly, how many guys go out to bars and say, "Hey, let's take pictures of each other when we're not drunk"? Because honestly, does she not realize that guys, when they go to a bar, they're not going to take the time to take pictures of each other? I mean, unless they're massive egomaniacs. And not many of them would want to hand over their phone to a woman because they would probably automatically look at other pictures on the phone. Seriously, if you're going to go out with your friends and have fun, guys aren't known for just taking pictures of each other. That's kind of weird. And when guys do take pictures of each other, they're not going to be pictures you'd want to put on a dating site. It's not going to be like, here's a picture of one of my friends. We were at the fair, and the only picture I have of him is humping a stuffed dragon. Yes, I do have a picture of one of my friends doing that. And he may or may not be on my Twitter follower, but I don't think he's going to watch this video anyway, so that was also in high school, and we had no excuse. We were just stupid. Okay, continuing. The next turnoff we find is when all of your pictures have you wearing a hat or sunglasses. Firstly, we can't see what you truly look like. We want to see the real you. Secondly, if you're losing your hair, own it. Show us how great you look anyway. Yeah, I don't believe that either. Now, with this next issue, I almost want to tell you to have your pictures approved by one of your best female friends. Because posting a picture of yourself wearing an FBI female body inspector t shirt is never a good idea. Let's use this as a rule of thumb. If you wouldn't wear it on a date, don't post a picture of yourself wearing it on a dating website. And if you would wear that FBI t shirt on a date, you deserve a kick in the head, really. Her words, not mine. Another big dating turnoff is when you send a wink or a flirt rather than writing us an email. Man up, gather some of your words and write us something personal. Go for it. We want to see your confidence and personality shine through. And when you're writing us, the last thing we want to see is a copy and paste letter. It's really funny she actually has one on here. Here it is. Hi there. I enjoyed reading your profile. You seem interesting, and it seems we have some things in common. I would love to know more about you. As for me, I've been living here for 2 years now. I moved here from Florida, where I grew up. I'm a pretty simple guy and would love to find my best friend. Not sure what else to write, but feel free to ask anything. Hope to hear from you soon. Are you on Facebook? Wow, that's almost verbatim the crap messages I get on dating sites, usually from bots. And I don't want to say that because I'm like on Match.com, Geek to Geek, and hell, I'm on the Disney dating website, to be honest. Look me up. I'm on Kentron on all of them. Or not, I don't care. If you're listening to this, you're probably not going to go to those dating sites anyway. All right, continuing. The first thing we notice about this letter is he didn't write one thing about her profile that he liked. The letter is completely generic. When you're initiating contact with a woman online, you want to connect with her. Find one thing about the interesting things in her profile and connect with her about it. For example, hey there, I enjoyed reading your profile. I also love to travel. Where were those photos taken? Any trips coming up? I just came back from Costa Rica. Would love to tell you about it sometime. Josh. Well, Josh can afford to go to Costa Rica. I can barely afford to go to Colorado. Technically, I can afford to go to Colorado. I go on family vacations. Another important tip is to always ask at least one question. It shows your interest and is an easy way of keeping a conversation going. If you do all the talking about yourself, you don't seem to understand us, and we'll have nothing to say. So ask us a question, but just be careful on a date to not sound like you're interviewing someone. Give the same care to the questions in your emails. The email from Josh above asking about her travels is a great example. He's not asking, are your parents still together? Do you believe in God? What do you think about the latest political scandal? He's simply asking about something she already posted in her profile. He's acting interested while staying within her comfort zone. Speaking of comfort zone, notice the first email above asks about Facebook. For many of us on dating websites, anonymity, anon, anonymity is important. Particularly for women, it is also a safety issue. Until we get to know you, we're not going to want to give you our full names or our regular email addresses. It would be better to stick the anonymous email from the dating website until we get to know you better. The most important piece of advice I can give, though, is to be yourself. Don't send an email. Don't send an email someone else wrote for you. Don't let someone else write your profile. Well, there's a big one. How many people are having friends write your dating profiles? You want to find someone who likes you for you. So put your true self out there, be confident, and see what comes your way. Yes, and I'm a talking wolf giving lessons on dating. At least I'm honest about the way I treat things when I'm doing it this way, so it's like if you try to find me out and realize, hey, I'm not really a wolf, that's your issue. I do come off as a werewolf though, so there's that. Chapter 14: Long Distance Relationships. With long distance relationships, all possible forms of communication are significant. Phone and email are basics, but it's a great way you can video chat and text message as well. And since you're not spending time together on the regular basis, it's important to find some way to communicate often. This can be difficult, especially if there's a difference in time zone or work schedule, but it is essential. And an example: Greg's theater work. Greg was in a theater production and typically took jobs that would take him out of town for a month or two at a time. He would usually spend at least as much time at home in between jobs. When he met Shannon, he had just returned home from a job. They spent a great 6 weeks together before he headed out again. Shannon accepted his career and was willing to make it work while he was away. But they were very different when Greg was gone. He was working 80 plus hours a week, including late nights. Besides the difficulty of finding common time to talk on the phone, Greg's needs in the relationship had changed. He no longer was interested in hearing about Shannon's days and no longer wanted to share about his. He was focused on work and too busy to be in touch regularly. When Shannon said she was willing to accept his being away from work for work, she didn't know it meant accepting that Greg's needs were going to be very different. Since Shannon's needs hadn't changed, they needed to compromise. Greg wasn't willing, and the relationship ended. Um, as a former theater geek, when you're doing a show and probably touring, it does take up your entire time, which is probably one of the main reasons there's always so much dating in the group. You're spending a lot of time with each other, you might as well stick with each other because you don't really have time outside of the theater group. Continuing, the most important thing here is to recognize what you both need and expect from the relationship. It might be that you're happy with one solid phone conversation per week, or perhaps some text and short emails in between. If the relationship has progressed some, you might want to be in touch more regularly. Whatever the situation, Be sure to be open about your expectations, either at the start of the relationship or as soon as you see the expectations are not being met. This particular important email, this is particularly important with email communication. An example. Dana's book. John and Dana met their freshman year in college and started dating soon after. As part of his degree, John needed to do a summer semester at sea. John could call Dana while in port, but while at sea, they were limited to text only emails. A few weeks into his trip, he opened her latest email and his jaw dropped. She wrote me a fucking book. Tired, he read half of it, didn't reply, and logged out. When Dana didn't get a reply, she got insecure, and she wrote more long emails now about her feelings. John and Dana clearly had different expectations about their email communication while he was at sea. Really, ask any goddamn naval couple about that. Admittedly, he was at sea for college, but, you know, naval work, I can't say from personal experience because I've never been in the Navy, but everything is highly scheduled. Take that into consideration if you're thinking they're going to have time to read a freaking 15-page email. Continuing. If email is our primary form of communication, you have to read our emails and answer all of the questions. You have to. Don't assume you'll remember to answer those questions when we talk on the phone, because you won't. If you don't answer all of our questions, we're going to feel ignored, and then we'll get annoying. We understand you are away for a reason, that you're busy, or that you have a life outside of the long distance relationship. But if we are not important enough for you to spend time writing us a nice email or talking to us on the phone, we can only imagine how you will treat us when life gets busy at home. Too busy means you're not that interested. And that is a true answer. You are home or away. Don't take for granted that we will be there when you get back, or that we will want to continue with the long distance thing. We might hang around for a little while, but being repeatedly ignored wears us down and eventually we'll be gone. 3 words. No fucking shit. My marriage literally fell apart because we had no time to spend together. I was working full time. She was working full time, and when she wasn't, our schedules were completely fucked, so we never got to spend any time together anyway. We never got to talk to each other, and when we did, we usually argued. Anyway, continuing. A note to the ladies. Although I did suggest that he answer all of the questions in your email, I'm also going to suggest that you try your best not to write him a book. Be sensitive to his position and try to say it all in fewer words. I'm glad she came back and added that because I was going to get pissed otherwise. Chapter 15. The more you give, the more you have. Good relationships of any kind, romantic relationships, friendships, familial relationships, are all based on giving. It's not about money and buying physical things, it's about giving your time and energy. Think about the people in your life with whom you want to have a good relationship. Think about something nice you can do for each of those people. Probably these things wouldn't cost you much time, effort, or energy. And doing these things will not only make them smile, well, will make you feel like the greatest brother, son, friend, boyfriend, or sister, daughter, girlfriend, etc. One of the biggest problems women find in men is selfishness. Goes vice versa. And we're consistently looking for men who will base their actions on things other than what they need and want in the moment. We're not suggesting a guy should live totally for us and lose himself. We want a partner who has a life and interests and an opinion of their own. But when we find a guy who is his own person and who genuinely cares about our happiness, we know we found a keeper. Yeah. Example: Zach wasn't hungry. Zach, Zach Morris is fine. Zach and Jen have been dating for a couple of months. Jen was heading to Zach's after a busy day. She had a long workout in the morning and she had been running errands all day. She was starving. She called Zach to let him know she was on her way over and asked him to order food. He agreed. When she got to his apartment, there wasn't any food. He didn't order anything. He told her that he wasn't hungry and figured they could wait until later to eat. Then he started kissing her, thinking he'd get some action. He knew Jen was starving and said he'd order food, but changed his mind based solely on what made him the happiest at the moment. Jen clearly did not feel cared for. She put a quick stop to his advances and they went out to get some dinner. She was annoyed and annoying for days until she felt cared for again. Honestly, anytime my wife said she was hungry, I ended up eating. It might be why I gained a couple 100 pounds while married. While Zach might be able to find a woman to put up with this, she certainly won't be that kind of woman. She'll be lonely and desperate and happy to have found a warm body to pay her attention, because no self respecting woman would put up with a guy who would disregard her wants and needs. In contrast, Jared was listening. Lisa mentioned to her friend Jared that since she was new in town, she had no one to spend the holidays with. The next week, Jared invited her to spend the holidays at a friend's house with him. Lisa was surprised Jared even remembered that she said that. since she was just mentioned it in passing. Another time, Lisa had mentioned that, again, being new in town, she didn't have any friends who enjoyed outdoor activities. He called her a couple of weeks later and invited her to go kayaking. The thing to note here is that these were things Lisa mentioned only in passing. Jared was paying attention to what she said and later acted on it. When she mentioned to him that she recognized and valued this about him, he said something about how it makes for a more full relationship. Jared made Lisa feel cared for. Jared quickly moved out of the friend zone. There are so many things I want to call bullshit on in this book sometimes. Being generous with your time and energy can make all the difference between a woman falling for you or not. Doing thoughtful things for her will put you on the fast track of her being special, cared for, and secure. Taking the time and energy to do something nice and unnecessary will make her feel special, since it is just for her, and cared for, since you care about how it makes her feel. If you do things like this regularly, she will see consistency in your behavior and begin to feel secure. Once you get to know her, you'll be able to do these things, nice little things for her. This doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money, it means you have to think of things that will make her smile, non sexual things. Right, sure. Here are some ideas. If you two will be hanging out at your place, pick up her favorite beverage. Help her find a parking spot or clear your driveway for her. If she mentioned in passing that she's always wanted to go hike a certain trail or wine tasting, plan it as a date. We love to realize you were actually listening when we spoke. Seriously, big points for that. Call and ask her how her day is going. If she is stressed about something and seems a little overwhelmed, ask if you can help. Think about what would make her smile and make an effort to do these things. It'll probably take a month or two for you to get to know what she likes, but once you do, show that you're thinking of her when she's not around. We love that. And I'm not trying to say that you should buy her things. This isn't about money. Give what you can give. If it's time you have, then take the time to find a new restaurant that you think she'd love, an independent movie she'd want to see, or even just help her find the store that sells her favorite swim goggles. If you're short on time and have lots of nightlife connections, for example, make a few calls and set something special up. Work with what you have. You can always do something extra that would bring a smile to her face. This fucking book, man. Another example. Dean and Donna moving. Dean and Donna have been dating for about a year when they decided to move in together. Donna was almost done packing her stuff when she received devastating news: a death in the family. She left the next day to be with her family for the week, but still needed to move out. Of course, Dean finished her packing and moved her things to the new place. But after the move, Dean took it a step further. He offered to unpack all of her things for her via video chat so she could tell him where everything goes. He didn't want her to have to come home from a difficult week only to begin unpacking. Just another reason Donna loves Dean. I swear, this book is actually making me angry. Even if you can't think of something specific to do for her, if she seems stressed with work or not feeling well, for example, ask her, "What can I do to help you?" More often than not, it will be something simple like picking up her dry cleaning and a box of cereal. Easy, and you're a great boyfriend. Note to the ladies. Honestly, I just like changing how I say that every time. It's funny. When he does something nice for you, appreciate it. Thank him. Let him know that you recognize the effort he made. And when you are doing nice things for him, again, I need to remind you not to go overboard. Bringing him groceries when he's sick is a nice gesture. Bringing him groceries every weekend is not appropriate. I don't know if I want to go another chapter or not. I mean, we went from 10. That was chapter 15 I just finished. We'll say that chapter 16 starts on page 69. And that is actually half the book. Now, give or take. The last actual page is 141. Well, we might as well do chapter 16 while I'm here. Just officially halfway through the book anyway. So, chapter 16, Creating Memories. One of the best things you can do to help us feel special is create new memories with us. Take us somewhere you've never been before, or do something with us you've never done before. Knowing that you've chosen to include us in this new experience makes us feel very special to you. This is especially important if you've had significant relationship experience before us. If you have lots of memories with your exes, vacations, living together, even a wedding, you'll need to create special memories with us too. We want to know that when you think back to the good times in your life, we were there. We want to be significant to you. We want to be special. With this in mind, it's important not to make us feel just like a replacement for your ex. So if we're always eating dinner at the same restaurant you went with your ex every week, or we've taken the place of her as a regular Friday night date, we're not going to feel special at all. Scott's repeat vacation. Scott had been scuba diving since he was 16, and Emma recently took her certification class. They were planning their first trip together, one where she could do her certification dives. She asked him to suggest a destination. Of all the places in the world to dive, he suggested Bonaire, where he had traveled with his ex. He even suggested the same resort. Emma asked if he wanted to arrange for the same hotel room as well, so they could sleep in the same bed. Well, that's a bitch move. She then tried explaining to Scott that she wanted to create new memories with him, not relive his old ones. He didn't see how it was any big deal. They split soon after, never taking a vacation together. That just may be dense, but what's wrong with going to the same hotel? I mean, he didn't have to mention that he went there with his ex, but if it's like a beautiful dive location and a beautiful resort, why the hell not? He was an idiot for mentioning the Met. He took the ex there, and she was a bitch for suggesting they try to do everything the same. So there. Continuing, we understand that some people like to do what's comfortable and shy away from the unknown. We also understand that you might have a favorite restaurant or favorite vacation spot. We're not opposed to experiencing these things with you. We just want to have some of our own memories with you first. So when we are planning our first vacation together, don't suggest a report as a resort or even a destination you've been to with an ex, even if it's your favorite. I was like, okay, yeah, I want to go to Disney World, but my ex and I went there a few times, so fuck that shit. Save that trip for next year, because when we get to the same destination and all your memories are revived, and they will be, we'll feel insecure. We'll compare our trip to your trip with her, and we'll compare our relationship to your relationship with her. It would be better to wait until our new relationship is solid before putting us in that position. And then we'll be secure in the relationship and it won't be a big deal. But until then, create new memories with us by choosing something new. A note to the ladies. Keep in mind that not all memories you create together will be romantic vacations. He may need a hand repainting his apartment or choosing a birthday present for his mom. Be open to creating a variety of new memories and cherish them all. Okay, I'm going to end the lessons there. So I'm not even sure what to say about that last chapter. Like, if going to particular spots are special to you, would you want to invite them? I mean, seriously, Cubs. If all of the spots you've been to have been with one person, I mean, that's like, yeah, I went to Disney World, stayed at one of the resort hotels. We also took my niece and nephew there the next year. I honestly have more memories about taking my niece and nephew on the vacation than I do my ex. But it also wasn't a romantic vacation. It was like fucking Disney World. Like, first time we went there, it was me, my ex, her sister, her fiance, and the mother-in-law. Next time I went, it was me, my ex, and my niece and nephew. So since it wasn't a romantic getaway, I guess that wouldn't qualify, right? Come to think of it, I don't think I've taken a romantic vacation. My life sucks. Anyway, this is coming up on 55 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start shutting it down for this time. I may come back, play a game. I don't know. But anyway, Cubs. Uh, not going to give you a quiz because I don't really expect you to remember any of this unless you really do take it to heart. But yeah. Uh, if I'm not back on playing games, I hope you Cubs all have a good night. And I'm going to attempt this whole rating thing again to see if it works. And since I started doing this while she was streaming a game, I'm probably just going to jump back over there. So, yeah. Uh, be nice. She's playing video games. What is she playing? She's playing Valorant. Yeah, Valorant. So, um, have a good night, Cubs. And break.